Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sisters of the Strange. I'm Landrey.
And I'm Shae.
Have you had anything fun go on in the last week?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, like what?
Like what? So remember whenever I Snapchatted you the other night?
Yes.
Yeah, I went on a little, I don't know that you would call it a ghost hunt, but we went exploring. Me and a couple of my friends took one of our ghost talker apps, the Ghost Tube app, and we were just like chit-chatting around it. And we just like had it open and it started saying some weird shit. And then we were like, oh my God. Remember in a couple episodes ago where I was talking about this hospital that has this little room with a little chair? We decided that we were going to go try to find it.
Oh, good.
And we were like, this is a great idea. Let's go look for it. And we'll take the Ghost Talker app. Well, said room is apparently maybe somewhere in the basement of this hospital. And we went down to the basement of this hospital and we were on the Ghost Talker app. And when we got to the basement, it was like very
eerie
down there. The air was stale. It was like stuffy. There's nothing down, like there's nobody down there. It's so creepy. But the app was like so active down there. And then when we would walk out of the basement, it would like die down like a lot.
Gross.
Like every once in a while you would get something, but like not the way that it was when we were down in the basement.
Disgusting.
Yeah. But we were talking about this room and the app like pops up and it says, it's not easy. And then that made me uncomfortable and I started to cry. Cry and laugh at the same time because that's just how I react. And then
Please don't choke.
And then we were like, oh, we should go like try to find it. And then it says like dark. And then we were talking about a security guard that we know that knows where this room is because none of us know exactly like where it's at. And so it was like late at night. So we were like, oh, well, we can't like ask him at this hour. We'll talk to him another day. And then it like pops up and says sailor. And as we were walking over there, we were like talking about like what the app was like telling us. And then we were like, oh my God, he was in the Navy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it was just like little weird things that were like seemed very specific to like the situation. And so it was just like real creepy and I was very uncomfortable. Yeah. But I was the one who led us down to the basement because I was the only one who knew how to find it.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're like, let's follow this one.
Mm-hmm. It was so much fun. I want to do it again. It was so much fun.
So she texted me and I was like, she said, I just had some ghost scary experiences or something along those lines. And I was like, cool, I'm getting in bed as soon as you sent me this. Like, I am about to lay down in the dark. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, and then I sent that Snapchat, but it didn't actually send until we got back to like our original location. So that's why it took so long. So like the whole time that I thought that it had already sent to you, like we were down in the basement, but it hadn't even sent to you at all.
Oh.
Because I have no service down there.
Yeah. No, something about a hospital basement just doesn't sound like someplace I want to be.
Mm-mm.
But that also, I told her, I was like, so is there like the tunnels to the morgue and stuff? Because like you should definitely go explore those as well.
Yeah, we went to the morgue.
And I said, give me an access pass.
Yeah, we walked by the morgue, kind of just like going through it. But anyway, it was so fun. I was like, I'm going to find this room and this chair. And there was like a couple of doors and stuff, but we were like scared to open them.
Yeah, I would be too.
But also we were wondering if there was like a security person like watching us walk through the basement tunnels. Yeah.
You open the door and they're like sitting there. It's like Arlen off of Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. He lives in the basement. Yeah. So he's like, hey, what's up?
This is my house.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that sounds scary.
I want to do it again. It was so fun.
It does sound fun. I like the adrenaline rush until I get home and I'm laying in bed and I'm like, oh, that was kind of scary. I hope that nothing wanted to be my friend and stick with me.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That sounds terrifying. The basement of a hospital just does not. I don't like hospitals in general, honestly. Like, not a fan. Whenever you have to go visit someone in a hospital and stuff like that, I just do not like them. So I don't know how you work in one. I just feel the vibes immediately when I walk into a hospital and I hate them.
Yeah. I used to be that way too. I used to hate going to the hospital until I started working there. Now it's just like nothing but Yeah, basement's super spooky. The ceiling's like super short, and there's like big pipes and stuff like all like on the ceiling and everything, and it's just creepy.
You found the perfect nap spot.
Yes.
Go take a nap.
Yeah. Yeah. A good hiding spot.
Yeah. Okay, well, this week I am doing a little bit different of an episode. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I feel like we've covered a little bit of everything lately, except for cryptids. And I'm very heavily looking at Bigfoot.
Ooh.
But I didn't want to get into him yet because I feel like he needs like 2 weeks of research to get into. There's just so much tied there.
We don't want to leave anything out.
Yeah, no, you definitely have to have all the knowledge. So didn't want to do Bigfoot yet and didn't have the mental capacity for that at this point in time. So then I was like, I'm going to do like the strangest encounters people have had on Reddit. And so I just typed in strangest encounters. I didn't really have an opinion or like thought on if I wanted it to be with people or if I wanted it to be like ghost stories or if I wanted it to be like park ranger stories. I didn't care. I just wanted to see what would show up. And what actually showed up was what's the creepiest encounter you've had with a complete stranger that still gives you chills? So I started it on that thread. And there are so many stories in this thread that I was like, wow, these are all horrifying. So I figure we can read these threads and then we will kind of just discuss what we think we might do in the situation or how we feel about this situation. And it's hard to say exactly what you would do in a situation because you truly don't know what you would do. And so this is all just for funsies, and it's just a different type of episode. But I thought it would be
funsies.
For funsies. I thought it would be very entertaining, though, because these stories, I was reading them and I was like, oh, ew, I don't like that. I don't know what I would do. Run away, cry, scream. I don't know. But like, I didn't like any of these stories.
I'm excited.
So the very first one that I read that I was like, okay, I was pregnant with my first child in 2001, right before my due date, so I was obviously very pregnant. I was shopping in Walmart. I started to notice this woman on every aisle I went on. I would guess she was probably in her mid-30s. When I went to the baby section to look at clothes, she started asking me questions. At first, they were common, like about the gender. Then the questions started getting strange. Was I married? Did we have a house or an apartment? She commented on my accent, and was curious if we had anyone in the area. I am from Michigan, but I was stationed in Florida. It just all felt kind of odd. I was young, 20, but I was married and my husband and I were both in active duty, living off base in a rental house. I just told her yes, we were excited and to have a good rest of her day. Then she actually started to truly follow me, telling me her husband was outside the store and they could help me take my groceries to my house. That's when I got really nervous. I told her I was fine, thank you, but that my husband was home and would help me when I got there. Then she told me they had a big truck and that she could buy me a large baby item. I politely declined and she was so insistent, becoming aggressive. She then offered to buy my husband a grill since we didn't need any baby things. I was getting panicky at this point because I knew this lady was not right. I went to check out and so did she. She got out before me and I watched her race walk out of the store, and sure enough, she and her husband were pulled along the curb at the front of the store near the soda pop machines. They were in a beat-up old yellow box truck. The husband rolls down his window and says, "We'd be happy to help you with that." I again declined and went to my car. I loaded up and watched for a minute and they didn't move. They just watched me. As soon as I pulled out, they did too. I hauled ass out of there and they were only behind me for a minute or two. I still drove around crying for about 30 minutes, making sure they were gone before I had to pee and needed to go home. I am now 44 and this is the first and one of the few times that I actually felt that level of fear in my life.
What in the actual shit is that?
I've heard a lot of stories about like almost like pregnancy fetishes. Like
yes,
people love pregnant women in a store.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're already so vulnerable, pregnant. Yeah. That's scary.
Yeah.
Ugh. And I don't know how, it didn't happen that long ago, but the girl who befriended another girl that was pregnant, cut her baby out of her, took her to the hospital, acted like it was her baby. That's terrifying. Like, what if these people just wanted a baby? And so they took her. She gave her birth, whatever, at their house or whatever, where they have her locked.
Yeah.
And then now they have a baby.
That's creepy.
That's horrifying.
Well, and like, was the husband with her?
It sounded like he was just outside waiting in the truck.
And see, that's what was freaking me out. Because I was going to say, like, who's they? Because whenever you were reading the story, it sounded just like it was just the woman and the pregnant woman.
Yeah.
And she kept saying they, we. And I'm like, who?
Who's we?
Who's we?
Yeah. Sounds like her husband was just like praying in the parking lot. Like waiting around.
Ew.
Pretty scary.
No. And they were in a box truck? No. Red flag.
We're okay.
Have you seen the video of that little kid that like sees a box van like parked in the street and he's outside and he goes, that's a kidnap van.
No. Yeah. But yes.
And I'm like, yes, exactly.
Good. No, that's so scary. And I don't know. I think if I ever got nervous in a store like that, there's a lot of these where I read that they just were like, no, it's not for me. It's fine. I'm going to get to my car. I don't know if I would do that because I'd be like trying to calm myself down and be like, I'm just going to get to my car. Or if I would be panicking and I'd be like, somebody walk me outside right now. I'm calling the cops. Like something. I don't know how I would react.
Yeah.
I want to say that I would like go to the front counter or call someone or whatever. But my other natural instinct is just to get in my car and drive.
Just to get out of there. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like it would be safer to have another person involved.
Yeah, I mean, it's safer, but if you can like talk yourself out of it and be like, they're not actually going to harm me. Like, I'm fine. You know?
Yeah.
Or think that you can handle it. Like, I don't know how I would react either. I do know that I've always like, I do pay attention to people following me, like driving behind me and how long they're following me.
I do too. And I feel bad when I'm following somebody for a long period of time because I'm like, I wonder if they think that I'm following them.
Yeah, and
I'm
you're
not.
like, you're like, I also just live really far out here as well, I promise. Because I've like followed people all the way from town out to my house. And I'm like, I promise I live here too.
Yeah.
Because we're far out. Like it's a far way to follow somebody.
Yeah.
I did have like a whole plan in high school on if I ever felt like someone was following me because it was just me and my mom that lived together. I had a whole plan on like how I would evade that, like driving past and whose house I would go to and who I would call and who would be able to come out and like all of that. That whole plan. Hey, because I was so like anxious.
You
about
never
stuff
know,
like
man.
That.
You never know.
What a wild thing to be thinking of at 16.
Amen.
Like, I have an escape route if someone's following me in my car.
Yeah.
Like and out where we are. So it's not like we could just turn around and go to a police station. That's the thing is we're out. And so even where I lived in high school, I was out enough to where it's like, I couldn't just turn around and go to a police station because I'm driving down like a highway.
Yeah.
And so I'd have to like, I was thinking of people who lived past me to where I could keep driving to them.
Yeah, not to go to your house.
Yeah.
Never just go straight to your house if you feel like someone's following you.
No, but that's the hard part when you live in a neighborhood or like where I live, I have a carport. I don't have a garage. And so I'm like, I could only evade someone for so long. Like I could keep driving, but if they drove around later and saw my car in my parking, whatever, then they know.
Yeah.
So there's only so much I could do about it. But yeah, I thought that was a little gross of a story.
Yeah, that was a creep fest.
Yeah, I don't like that. But apparently it's a very common thing about pregnant women and people bothering them.
Yeah, there's multiple stories of like, I say multiple. I've heard of like 2 or 3.
Yeah. Even one of my friends, she's like, when you're pregnant, people want to touch your belly for no reason. And then you have your baby and they want to touch your baby for no reason.
Yeah, like, ew.
Yeah, she was like, I almost yelled at an old lady the other day and I realized like she was older and just doesn't have the same like thoughts as a lot of like modern parents do. And she was like, I wanted to yell at her, but like the empathetic side of me was like, she doesn't know. It's okay.
Just
she, like,
politely tell her
like,
not to touch her.
Yeah. She was like, but I was about to go to jail just because it like immediately like sets you on.
Yeah.
And then we all went to dinner together like that same week. And immediately the people behind us were like, oh, straight to her baby. And she was like, so all of us at the table were like stared at these people, like watching them after hearing that week.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Okay. This one is pretty sure my dog saved my life from a dangerous encounter. I was very pregnant and was leaving the grocery store with my cart. I know there seems to be a theme on the very beginning of this. It gets out of pregnancy a little bit later. But I was very pregnant and was leaving the grocery store with my cart. Lexi, which is her dog, was sitting and waiting for me in the car. She loved car rides, especially when the weather was good. So I was loading up the groceries and realized that a man had been sitting in a car before I went into the store and he was still out there watching me when I got back out. He got out of his car and asked if I needed assistance, which I get. I was very pregnant and it was the polite thing to do, but something about it immediately put me on alert. I was completely unnerved by him and still can't state exactly what it was. I said, no thanks, I've got it, but he continued to get out of his vehicle and walk towards my car anyways. Lexi had been snuggled up in the front seat and must have heard the concern in my voice. The dude continued to walk in my direction, claiming he just wanted to help. I continued to say no, I don't need help, it's no worry. As the man approached the hatch of my vehicle where I was loading the groceries, Lexi sprang from the front seat, leapt over the back seat, and jumped to the cargo area and started growling and baring her teeth. It was dark and she was an all-black dog, so she seemingly appeared out of nowhere. That was the only thing that made the dude back up and leave. He started cursing at me, calling me names for not accepting his help, and for letting my dog threaten him. I will say, thank goodness it was dark, because Lexi was only a corgi that was all black and was far less intimidating looking in the dark or in the daylight. She looked like a black lab puppy, but had super short, stumpy little legs. She stayed right by my ankles the rest of the night once we were home and would not let me out of her sight.
Aww.
I'm like, yeah, thank goodness it was dark, or else he would have been like, well, that's not intimidating.
Yeah.
I've used my small dog to that advantage one time. Biggie was barking inside whenever those creepy salespeople were at my house, and I was like, my dog bites. Sorry.
She bites.
Well, they were freaking me out because they asked to come inside my house. I was like, my dog bites, and you could hear Biggie just like very deep barking. So she sounded like a way bigger dog. And
yeah.
You walk in and it's a weenie.
A wiener.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that I feel like always differentiates the two between like a normal harmless reaction, like interaction versus something that's not normal. When you ask somebody if they need your help and they say, no, thank you, I've got it, you move on with your life.
Yeah, that's enough.
The people who are persistent or like keep coming towards you or ask you again or ask you multiple questions, that is a person who has no business being near you.
Yeah.
And they need to skedaddle.
Continue on.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm like, at what point do you just close the hatch of your car, say screw the groceries, and get in?
And just leave.
Yeah. Because I almost think that's what I would do. I'd be like, I don't need this basket of groceries that
this
bad.
person's coming towards me. I gotta go.
I'm getting in my car.
Yeah.
Because I would be so panicked.
Yeah.
I
And
think that's
very
kind of how I
clearly
react.
he was a weirdo
Yeah, like on a mission.
because he starts cussing at her and being rude to her after she was like, I'm good, I got it.
Yeah, I don't need your help.
Like, ew.
Yeah. That would scare me though. Like if you say, no, thank you, I've got it. And they continually walk towards you.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you,
Something's
I've got
wrong.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting in my car now and I'm running you over.
It's the persistence that bothers me.
Yeah. And some people, I mean, there's people who are really nice and they are persistent because they think that you just don't want to be told, that you just don't want the help, or like.
I don't.
Well, they think that some people like want the help but are too nice to say it,
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe. But also like there's a lot of people who understand that they're making you uncomfortable.
Right.
And
that's
like
what
they
I
can
mean.
sense your discomfort and they'll be like, I am so sorry. I did not mean to make you feel uncomfortable. I promise there was no ill intent here.
Yeah.
Because there's certain times like where I do that, where I like, the other day I was walking through the parking lot and this girl, she smelled really good. And I wanted to be like, you smell good. And then I was like, it's dark outside. I'm in a parking lot. I'm not going to tell her that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to scare the hell out of her.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to keep walking.
Because I would be scared.
Yes.
Yeah.
If someone told me that in the parking lot and it like at night in the dark and she was like loading up the back of her car, I would have been like, okay. And then I would have thought about it all night.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to freak her out and I kept walking.
Correct. That's the correct thing to do.
But she did smell nice.
If that was you, you smell really good.
Yeah. I'm like, you did smell very nice. This one is, I used to work at Meyer in the deli. A customer came up and asked for my opinion. I recommended all the things I liked and was just super friendly, I guess. He ended up calling the store that night asking for me. The other girl I was working with didn't even offer the phone to me, just told him that I had left. He came back the next day and started asking me personal questions. I was very vague and then started helping other customers. He came back again the next day, and at that point I had to get management involved. He was standing behind a pole just watching me. I had to be walked to my car every night for about a month. And I would call my boyfriend at the time, who is now my husband, every night on the way home, and lived in an apartment building with another coworker whose husband would literally walk me to my door. I still feel like he's watching me sometimes, and it has been 4 years.
Ew. Creep.
Can you imagine just doing your job, like you at the hospital, emergency room? You save lives, right? And you've probably saved some men's lives, and they're like, imagine them continually coming back and being like, but you saved me, and I want to talk to you more over and over and over and over and over again.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah.
We had our moment.
We had our moment. I was literally just saving you. Like, that was it.
We had our moment. We're good.
Okay. This one doesn't really give me the chills, but it was quite creepy. I was leaving a club with my friend and happened to walk out at the same time as two very young drunk women. They were so drunk, one of them kept saying, "Where is my phone? I've lost my phone." And then she would realize it was wedged into her top. They started talking to us, and then I decided I wanted to make sure they got home safe. They didn't want to pay for an Uber and wanted to walk home despite not being able to walk and not being able to operate their phones. I insisted that they order the Uber, and I did it for them. I also decided to wait to order mine because they were extremely vulnerable and unwise, probably recently 18. While this is happening, a very sketchy-looking dude with a weird look in his eye comes up to us. He asked us if we wanted to go to an after party and mentioned his Uber is on the way. I politely refused for all of us, and he kind of hangs around looking at the girls and looking toward the entrance of the club. His Uber was a van-style people carrier with a sliding door. It pulls up, he opens the door and says nothing to the driver. He then suggests we come to the party again, waits for an uncomfortable amount of time and realizes that we are not going to come, closes the Uber door without saying anything to the driver. The driver drives off and he makes his way back into the club. He was in the club that night and probably followed the woman out, but unfortunately for him, fortunately for them, they got to talking to me.
Yeah.
So he helped,
He
whether it was
saved
a woman or a
them,
man,
yeah.
I don't know, but saved the two
Very
young, drunk
drunken
women.
girls.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's what good people do.
That's what
that's some
people
good
do.
people stuff
Yes.
right there.
He just hung around, got the Uber,
Made sure they were safe.
and that was probably it.
And stopped them from getting in a passenger slider door
People
van for a
van.
party.
People
And-
mover van.
Yeah, that's terrifying. And how he like made the connection of like open the Uber door. And normally like when you Uber, they're like for Landry, for
Yeah.
Shae, for Joseph, like whoever ordered it. They double check that it's
That's
for
you.
you. And you say something and you're like, yeah, no, yes, no. This guy didn't say anything. He just opened the door, made some eye contact, and then they wouldn't get in, closed the door and went back in the club and the van drove off.
Yeah, that's sketchy.
And no, thank you.
Ew.
Yeah, that is scary. It's scary to think that people just go to places like this and stand on the outskirts and probably don't really drink that much, probably don't do that much and just watch you
Mm-hmm.
looking for their opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Looking for that vulnerable
Yeah.
group or
chance.
person. You know what's really unfortunate is that like in the emergency department, like we can't test for GHB.
Really?
There's no test for it. All we can test for is like the like benzos, amphetamines, opioids, and marijuana. And
That's
like
terrifying.
if none of that stuff comes back, like sorry, I don't know.
No, we even had
I hate it because people come. I say all the time. I would say all the time, but that's not the case. But like, you get them every once in a while. A person comes in from the bar, or their friends bring them in. They're like, they only had they really didn't drink that much. Like, I've seen them drink more, and like they're super out of it. Like, we think that they were drugged, like whatever. And it's like, well,
Yeah, we can't help you that
don't
much.
know.
It is very scary. There was a certain person in college that you knew like not to let buy your drinks.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Like you knew not to accept drinks from that person.
gross.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, very scary.
Yeah.
Very scary world we live in. It's scary that like you have to, even if so, Rich, I really don't go out a whole lot anymore, but like, even when I would like put my phone on top, because I normally just get like a beer. Like
Mhm.
I get something simple or like a White Claw. I would put my phone on top of my drink if I was not physically looking at my drink. And like one time I remember, like one of the last times I went to a bar, I'd had it like kind of like on the bar top, but I had turned my head and was talking to somebody else. And I was like, I turned my head away from my drink. I'm not drinking it now. And I was at the bar like by my house.
Mhm.
Like the odds of someone doing anything at that bar is
Yeah.
probably pretty slim. But I was like, I barely turned my head away from it. And now I'm like, I'm just going to go get another drink.
Yeah, you just have to worry about everything these days.
Yeah. It's scary that you have to be that like thoughtful and mindful, but I am because I'm like, no, I turned my eyes away from it for 1 second.
You never know.
Nope.
People are sneaky.
It's scary.
Mhm.
And have you watched the videos where people will like hang their, like it's like a local and they just take like gummy worms and they like drug your drink with gummy worms to show you how easy it can be done?
Yeah.
It's like, that's
No.
so scary.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay. This person just commented underneath the thread and said, I had something similar happen to me just a decade ago. I was the designated driver for the night. I had dropped my friends off outside this venue, so they didn't have to walk far since they were already a little drunk for some concert, club, event thing. But then I had to go find parking, and the area was just packed. I took a couple of laps and ended up parking around 5 blocks away.
Damn.
I came across this woman who was upset, seemed a bit confused, but was very attractive and in her mid-20s, like myself. First thought, I was like, oh, cool, she's talking to me. Then I realized within about 15 seconds, she's bombed. She had just left some bar.
Bombed? I've never heard that.
You never heard bombed?
No.
Oh, I have. I love it. So she had just left some bar and was going to meet her friends after, but her phone had died. She was rambling and I had to keep getting her back on topic. I ended up finally getting a number from her for a trusted guy friend. And I explained that I couldn't just leave her like this. She was in a terrible state. Anyway, long story short, he says he can come, but it's going to be about an hour. While I'm waiting, same kind of shit, a couple of guys came over and say we should come party with them. I declined. They kept pushing. They were trying to suggest that maybe she should come. We were really getting sketched out. And I raised my voice enough for them to hear that I was annoyed. Neither of us are going with you. I could not have taken them on, but it was a really busy bar street in my town and people everywhere were everywhere since it was a Saturday night. They eventually leave. Her guy friend shows up, loads her into the taxi, says thanks, and she presumably gets home safe. I'm 95% sure they roofied her and then followed her.
Ew.
I've only been in like
Disgusting.
there was one situation where I've had to like help someone who was like very, very drunk that I did not know. Texas Mardi Gras.
Ooh.
In Dallas. I was like 16.
Dallas?
Wherever it's at. It's
What
like
the hell you were doing in
Dallas.
Dallas?
They do like Dallas or Fort Worth. It's where they have it. I don't think it wasn't at Dos Equis, but it was somewhere over there. And I was sober. I drove everybody.
Oh, Texas Mart. Got it.
Where you go like, you can go
Yep.
stage to stage. Underage, clearly not drinking. I was the driver, whatever, had a whole group of people with us. And there we like made it to front row. And there was a girl who came up and was asking to get on Alex's shoulders. And Alex was like, sure. And she was on his shoulders, like bobbing and weaving, falling everywhere, super like, you could tell she was just very drunk.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I have to go to the bathroom. I'm going to leave. And I was like, whoa.
Where are you going,
And
girl?
it was like me, Jordan Prairie, like all of us. We like, were like, no, we're not going to let you go to the bathroom by yourself. Like we need to figure this out for her. Cause she was like really drunk. And so we left our spot front row for Cody Johnson.
Oh.
We ended up getting our spot back. People held it for us since we were helping her. They were like,
okay,
y'all
good.
are nice. We'll hold your spot. So they did.
Blessed.
It was super nice. But we like walked off with her and took her to the bathroom. And then she was like, I need to call somebody, blah, blah, blah. Like was trying to figure out how to get home. She was like, my friends left me. I'm alone. She was from like Oklahoma, like couldn't just leave.
Yeah.
So we took her phone, called her dad. And her dad was like, yeah, I'll have someone fly the plane and meet her in this area. Very rich, apparently. Yeah. And so he was like, I just need someone to sit with her until I can get an Uber there for her, or like a taxi there, and then they'll take her to the airport. It was a whole thing. And so we sat with her and some guy walked up to us and was like, I know her. She can come home with me.
Oh, no, she cannot.
Well, I was like, no. And he was like, no, I have her ID. And he pulled her ID out of his back pocket. And I was like, I'm going to call her dad and check. And her dad like verified that they could leave together. But we literally were like, no, you're not leaving. But yeah, it was a whole thing. And I was like, I'll just have my plane come get me. I was like, what? This is crazy.
You're like, can I go?
Yeah, I want to come home with you, actually, please. Do you want to take me?
Yeah.
But,
oh my gosh.
Yeah,
wow.
and then we were able to go back and they had saved our spots because they were like, yo, we're so nice. That was so kind of you.
Yeah.
But it was crazy.
That is wild. I haven't been in any of those situations. So.
I get around random situations where I'm like, I like insert myself because I like am so, I don't know, I just like feel bad and stuff. But there's a lot of them where I should not insert myself. Like I shouldn't stress about the drama or any of it. But I
sometimes you I feel like sometimes you should.
Yeah.
Sometimes people should. There's a lot of times where people do when they should not. And then the times where they should is when it gets neglected.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, oh, where was literally anyone?
Yeah.
You know?
A single person.
Yeah.
Scary. This one I do not like. I was about 10 when my family was staying at a cabin in the mountains in the winter. It was a snowy night and my parents and aunt and uncle had all gone to their bedrooms to sleep. My siblings and cousins and I were all sleeping in the living room. At some point, I was awakened by a chilly draft. When I opened my eyes, I saw the front door was slightly cracked and there was a man making eye contact with me. In the middle of the night, in the freezing cold, on the deck of a cabin that was pretty far up in the mountain. I screamed for my dad. The man disappeared into the darkness. My dad quickly came to the living room and turned on the porch lights. The man was just standing in the driveway, silently looking back at us. He claimed he was just looking for a drink of water.
Oh, no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. What are you doing out there, sir?
So that happened to Murphy at her house, and she lives, my sister doesn't live that far out, but like far enough. And she was home alone one day. The kids were at school. She works from home. And actually, I think the kids were home this day. I even think Eugene had been home at this point. So they were all home, but they keep their doors locked and stuff. And this guy like knocked on the door, but turned his back to the door afterwards. And so Murphy was like, I'm not answering that.
Mm-mm.
And then he started like, Murphy told the kids to go to Ella's room because her room's the back of the house and Nash is the front. And he walked towards the front. And Nash went in his room anyways because the kids listen.
Why are we going to listen?
The kids listen. And he was like, Mom, he's walking past my window. And Murphy was like, what the? So then he ended up like walking back up the driveway. And at that point, Eugene had been like on the toilet or something. He was predisposed.
Pinch it off, Eugene.
Yeah.
We
Knock it off. Let's go. And by the time he made it outside and was like, hello, like, what are you doing here? He was like, oh, I just needed a drink of water. I was looking for a faucet. And Eugene was like, go to find a faucet somewhere else. Like, do not come on my property. Because they have to like come to, their driveway's not like all that long, but like you still have to come off their driveway.
Yeah.
They have a gate now that you have to have a code to.
Yes. Yes.
But they've had that happen. Like Murphy's had it happen a couple times where she is home alone and like,
oh no.
one time, but the just a few houses down there is a cop, but they all like my sister lives on 10 acres.
Mm-hmm.
And then our dad owns the 10 acres next to it. So then it's like big lots distance. But someone down the road is a sheriff. So like if she ever gets really panicked, she can call him.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one day she had someone do the same thing, like knock on the door, turn around, and she was like, I could see his jeans were like tucked into his boots and he looked like just like kind of scary. So she didn't open the door. And her dog, she has a German short-haired pointer, and Pepper like has a nice happy bark and Pepper has a heavy scary bark.
Mm-hmm.
Pepper was scary barking at this guy. So Murphy was like, I'm not opening. Well, she wasn't going to open the door anyways, but she was like, I'm for sure not opening the door now.
Yeah.
And he walked off. And then when she went to get the kids from school, there was like an SUV parked on the side of the road, looked like it was like broken down. And she said you could see that he was laying in the back seat with like his boots hanging out the side. And it was like at that point, I think called Jay, or Jay had already been called. And he got them off the road.
Yeah. No.
But.
Ugh.
Yeah.
No. That's so scary. Ugh. I hate that.
I'm thankful she had Pepper there because Pepper, I think, because Murphy also works with like her windows open a lot and like.
Well, yeah, when you live on property and you have no neighbors.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Her windows are always open, like actual windows, blinds, everything, curtains, all of it's open.
Ain't nobody have no business being on that property.
No. And Pepper gave her spooky bark.
Her warning bark.
Yeah. Pepper would probably go to town on somebody for you. She's the sweetest dog ever, but I feel like if she knew you were threatened, she'd like really freak out. Oh, right on par. So I'm continuing on with our being home alone and not loving it.
Oh, great.
When I was 15, I regularly was at home by myself since both of my parents worked full-time and my brother had moved away to college. Well, one day during the summer, I was just relaxing at home when all of a sudden someone knocks on the front door. I got up and checked the peephole and see two guys just standing in the driveway just off the porch. One of them was wearing a suit and the other was wearing sweatpants and a hoodie, but facing away from the house like he was playing lookout. I decided to ignore them because they'll go away. Right? Wrong. They continued knocking, but getting progressively louder and more aggressive. Finally, I decided to call the sheriff's department and ask for a non-emergency check since they're trespassing. My dumbass decides to yell through the door that I had called, and before I even realize how dumb it was, the guy starts kicking the front door.
Oh!
I freak the fuck out, run back toward the center of the house, and realize there's a third guy trying to kick in the back door as well.
Oh, no.
At this point, I call 911 and start screaming about these three guys trying to break into my house. Notoriously, it took the sheriff's deputies longer to get there than anyone would imagine, and they did see the guys walking down the road later, stopped to question them, but with no arrest.
No. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know how you would even... I don't know how I would react if I was home alone in high school and someone started banging on the door like that. Like, I don't know what I would have done. I never had to experience that, and I was home alone a lot, so I'm thankful I didn't have to experience that, but I do not know how I would handle it. Especially seeing someone at your back door, too.
So anyway, I started blasting.
Yeah. I don't think I had... I mean, like, at my mom's house, I didn't have, like, protection or anything in high school, you know? So I'm like, I don't know what I would have done. cry because
Cry in the closet.
Well, I also don't know if I would have hidden in a closet. I think I might have been like, okay, there's a window and I might be able to I think about like, even now I think about it. I sleep with my keys on my nightstand because I'm like, if someone's at my front door, my back door, maybe I can go out my window and get to a neighbor.
If you only know that there's one person, what if there's somebody else?
Yeah.
She didn't know there was a third guy?
I don't know what I would do. Panic?
No.
Panic. Cry?
Yeah.
Probably have a heart attack.
Well, that was like, I think I mentioned it on here before, the Amazon truck that came like in the middle of the night one time, like during Christmas. Did I talk about this on here?
Maybe.
I was home by myself. I was in high school. And it was like dark outside, but it was like during the holiday time. And so that's like the time where like delivery trucks at Amazon, like they deliver like later into the night. And I was home by myself for some reason. I don't remember where everybody was. My mom was probably out of town, but anyway. Somebody knocked on the door and I was like, what the heck? So I like looked out my window, my bedroom window literally faced the street. It was right next to the front door.
Yeah.
And I saw the Amazon delivery truck and I was like, oh, okay, well, it's Amazon. He just delivered a package. So I just like went back to doing whatever I was doing, not caring. Well, then they knocked again and I looked out and it was still the Amazon truck. And I was like, why is he knocking on the door again? So I was like, what the heck? And so I was like, whatever, he's going to go away. He's already delivered the package. Then he starts banging on the door. And I was like, oh, absolutely not. So I called my mom and I ran and I hid in her closet.
Yeah. Maybe he just needed a signature.
Probably.
He's like, I just need you to sign for this, please.
No, go away.
I saw you peeking out the front.
Go away.
That's scary.
Yeah, I was scared.
Yeah, I'd panic.
He eventually went away.
Yeah.
But I don't know why he had to bang on the door 3 times.
Mm-mm. Nope. Don't like that.
That's the only time I've ever been in a situation like that.
Where you freak out like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever really had to experience it. And if someone knocks on my door now, it gets really bad during the summer in my neighborhood. A lot of like solicitors.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you put up a no soliciting sign, they don't care. Solicit. They don't care. And I'm really bad about just opening the door and being like, yeah. Well, my neighborhood's so friendly. Like all of us just kind of like my neighbor literally knocked on my door yesterday because Aaron ordered us these water things and they're 5-gallon jugs, but they're glass. Do you know how difficult that is for me to get inside my house?
Yeah.
Like across my house too.
Mm-hmm.
I even took my dad's dolly and like I got 2 of them inside before I was like dizzy.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And so I had asked my mom to come help me. I called her and I was like, can you come do this for me, please?
Yeah.
She's a lot stronger than me. And she was like, yeah, I'll come tomorrow. And so she was coming like yesterday. And yesterday morning I was on the phone with her and then my front door got knocked on, but I could see it was my neighbor through the, like my glass in my front door is weird, but I could see it was Mr. Al. And I opened the door and he was like, hey, I was just seeing if you wanted me to help you get these waters inside. And I was like, actually, my mom's on her way.
Aww.
But it was just Mr. Al. But like I just opened the door, but I could see it was him. But like he knocks on my door randomly. And so like,
yeah.
I don't know. Just random.
I don't know.
I know. Okay. This one is, I don't know if I ever would have had this happen to me either.
Oh boy.
I used to hitchhike on occasion.
Okay.
So
well,
probably not.
There's our first problem.
So I used to hitchhike on occasion around our city when I was a teenager. Mostly things went okay, but the last time I caught a ride, I hardly even looked at the guy driving and just got in thinking about what I was going to do when I got home. I told him to drive straight down the street for half a mile, but then he made a turn that took us away from the street I lived on. He was going into an industrial area and I realized this was not good. It occurred to me to find somebody on the street, anybody, and wave at them. They would see me in the truck with this guy and could come back to haunt him, and it could come back to haunt him if he did anything bad. So I saw a teenager who was probably just over a year or 2 older than me, and I waved and smiled and waved some more. I laughed and said, oh no, that was my brother. Now he's going to be asking me who I was in the truck with. The guy's demeanor changed immediately. He looked deflated. All his original cockiness was gone. I told him to go down a few more blocks and drop me off. So nothing happened except that I never, ever hitchhiked again. And it wasn't until much later that I realized how very lucky I'd been to get away when I did.
Yeah.
Very quick thinking. To be
very quick thinking.
Wave at someone and be like, that was my brother. Now they're going to wonder who I was in the truck with.
No way in hell I would think to say that.
Me neither. I don't think so.
0%. I would just start panicking and then
be like,
get murdered and then get murdered immediately.
Yeah, like shaking the door like, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I would have reacted as well either. I'm like, that's so smart. Very, very, very smart thinking. I think my brother almost got kidnapped one time. outside of Hall.
Oh.
Like someone was like, oh, I'm here to get you for your stepmom. And like, to be fair, we never really knew if mom was getting us or, I mean, Mantha could some days or if Murphy was always late because she dated a guy at the high school. And so then she'd hang out at the high school longer and then blame it on high school traffic and all the things, right? So we never really
knew who was picking you up.
We could assume it was Murphy, but like when?
Yeah.
And so someone had said like they were there to get like, I don't even remember the story. I just remember it happened outside of Hall. Because I was like, oh my God, I have to go there in a few years and that's terrifying. Like I was so nervous. And I used to walk from Curtis up to Hall when I was at Curtis and he was at Hall. And so I was always like, it's my turn. I'm going to be next. Yeah. Or instead, my dumbass. So do you know the like how Curtis to Hall is? So in our town, guys, by the way, because you don't know, there's an elementary school and not even a mile up the road is the middle school. I went to the elementary school. My brother was at the middle school and our sister was at the high school. So she would come pick us up from there. Or I had a friend who lived like right down the road as well. So sometimes I walked home with her, whatever. You could either walk just right up the road on the sidewalk or there was a trail you could take. It's called Soldier Springs Park.
Through the woods?
In Weatherford. Yes. And you could walk through that. And so sometimes we walked through that because you're on an adventure, you know? And there was one singular time. It was me and my friend Bodie, who I haven't talked to since probably middle school. And I had a friend named Foley.
Oh, I was like, who's Bodie?
Yeah, Bodie and Foley.
Got it.
And we had left out of the school, walked up this giant hill and started in on the trail. We walked that trail, honestly, more often than we walked the sidewalk, most likely, just because it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
And there was one day we were walking and there was an old man that looked like Santa Claus.
I remember this story.
Like literally like Santa Claus, like bigger belly, beard, everything. I even want to say he was wearing red, like whatever. But he freaked us out automatically because we're in elementary school, like 6th grade, probably 5th or 6th. And he like was watching us and it freaked us out. So we kind of started like running, like kind of past him. I don't remember if he tried to interact with us or not. I just remember us being absolutely like terrified of this guy. We ran all the way to Foley's house. Like that's like probably over a mile, maybe 2 miles to get to her house from where we were. And I almost want to say I think we had seen like a backpack in the bushes too. And there was like paper spread everywhere. I remember there was something that really freaked us out on top of seeing this guy.
Yeah.
To the point when we got to Foley's house, we locked all the doors. She pulled out a baseball bat from under her bed. And we all just like sat there until my sister came and got me. But we stopped walking that trail for a little while.
Yes, I remember that.
It was scary.
Remember whenever you told us that.
I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah,
Santa.
maybe don't do that anymore.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we did for a little while. I think we were a little petrified. And then after that, it was kind of thrilling. So we were like, ooh.
Let's go through the woods.
Yeah.
Through the park.
Yeah, probably should have never done it again. But you get the thrill as a kid and you're like, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
Yeah, you don't realize how much
made it out
of,
alive.
Real danger you're in.
Right.
Yeah.
Never.
But he was probably just some old man walking the trail.
For his
getting his exercise
daily walk.
in, getting his steps in.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Soldier Springs Parks has like an actual like paved trail you can take. We were on like the dirt,
the non-paved trail,
weird walking trail that like was kind of made up.
Yeah.
So it's like, were you waiting for some school kids because you're in the middle of 2 school zones?
Yeah. Should you be here, sir?
Or were you on a walk?
Or are you lost?
Yeah. Do you need help? Don't know. Okay. At my old job, there was a 6 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. shift, which I hated being scheduled for because I didn't have a car and all the bus routes I took usually didn't run at 2:30 in the morning. There was a random commuter bus that could be taken at 3 a.m., so that's the one I would take when I was on those shifts. It would drop me off about a 15-minute walk from my house, most of which was across a big mall parking lot, and then the last little bit on my street, which was very dark at that time. So they had to like walk through the parking lot, mainly of the mall, and then a really dark stretch of their road. One night, I got off the bus, as usual, and while waiting to cross the street to get to the parking lot, a car slowly drove past me, and the driver was just staring at me. I continued on, and shortly after, I realized he had pulled into the parking lot and was following me slowly with his car. It was in the middle of the night, and there was no one around and nowhere to go for help. I thought about calling the cops, but didn't know how long they would take or if this guy would do something since he saw me with my phone. When I got near my street, I acted like I was walking past it because there was no way to drive directly on it from that part of the parking lot. And when I was almost there, I quickly darted across the road to my street and could see the guy in the car quickly trying to find an exit so he could continue to follow me. I hid in my neighbor's bushes before he could get there and watched him drive up and down a few times looking for me. Eventually, he gave up and I quickly ran the rest of the way home. After that night, I would just Uber home when I worked that shift. It was way more expensive, but I decided I'd rather spend money than experience whatever that creep was planning on doing to me.
Correct.
Good call.
Yes.
I would say that was a good call.
Absolutely good call. What is wrong with people, bro?
Whatever they want to do, they do it.
What is up with the creeps, man?
I don't know. I feel like maybe there's like less now in the world because it's like there's more internet access. There's more things to like. I would like to believe that at least. Hopefully there's more things for them to stay entertained with the internet. Hopefully they can find a chat room.
That shouldn't be allowed either.
I don't know. I don't know. Or they can play video games. They can talk to AI. Like they can do something more, hopefully.
Then follow people around like a creep.
But I don't know how long Uber's been around. So this story is potentially a little bit more modern with Uber being an option.
True.
So
Uber is pretty new.
I don't think I would ever let myself work a shift like that, knowing I didn't have a car.
Oh, not having a car? Yeah, absolutely.
I would be like, actually, I'm sorry, but no. I don't think I would. And the same people who like work in gas stations at night, I'm like, you are so brave.
Yeah.
You are so brave. I would be terrified. Every time the door would like, ding, I'd be like, who are you? What do you want?
What do you want from me?
Yeah.
The whole time I've been thinking about that that new meme and sound that's been going around TikTok that's like, I have a gun. Have you seen those?
No.
Hold on, I have to show you one.
I've never heard that.
I have a gun.
Ain't nothing bad happening.
It's the whole time we've been talking about these stories. That's what I've been thinking of.
No, I haven't seen it. I haven't heard that. Okay. I stopped at a Love's off the interstate really late one night to get gas.
Oh, no. Not the Loves.
Well, anytime I experienced this like this weekend. I was on the way to Murphy's house and it wasn't this weekend. It was when I went over there to help Nash with his Valentine's Day box. I was on my way over there. I took my dogs with me and you all have met Biggie. You all have seen the chaos that is Biggie. There's no way I can leave her in my car alone, even to pump gas. Like she tries to jump out the door. She sits there and whines. She can't handle it. And so I was like, I'm not going to get gas on the way there, but I need gas, but I'm not going to. And then I was like, and then I know I will not leave her house until after dark. So can I make it home and make it to a gas station the next morning? Because if not, I do need to stop right now because I will not stop in the dark. Yeah. There was only like there was one time probably in the last year, I did have to stop at night and my brother followed me to the gas station. It was after leaving Murphy's one night and he followed me and sat, like him and Macy sat in the car while I pumped my gas.
Smart.
Because I was like, I need to get gas and I don't want to do it in the dark by myself. So I did not stop in the dark because I'm too scared to. And I made it home. And the next morning I made it to the gas station with very little gas in my car. But it was okay. I did the math before knowing like, do I really need to stop right now or can I make it?
I've been in that situation many a time.
Yeah.
I'll tell my experiences after you tell your story.
Oh, goodness. Okay. So I stopped at a Love's off the interstate really late one night to get gas. At the time, I was 17 and heading home from work. The gas station was pretty much empty, no other cars at the pump or anything. I went in, paid for my gas, and came back out to start pumping it. I noticed a guy standing behind one of the pumps on the other side, looking at me, and it gave me the creeps, so I decided I'd just get in my vehicle while the pump was going with the doors locked. Once I was in my truck, he came jogging over, motioning for me to roll my window down, and I just shook my head no. He tried to yank open my door and then started banging on the windows. I called the store and one of the employees came out and told the guy the cops were on the way. The guy took off running and the employee told me to stay in my trunk and he just pulled the pump out for me and told me to be safe on my way. I no longer stop at gas stations at night if it can be helped, and if I do, I pick a busy one that's well lit. It still gives me the creeps and I fully believe the guy either wanted to harm me, steal my truck, or both.
Jeez. Ugh.
Gas stations are inherently scary.
Gas stations are sketchy. So, as we know, I work the night shift, middle of the night shift. So I get off at 2:30 a.m. Not an ideal time to be getting off from anywhere. But I also work in Fort Worth, downtown Fort Worth. And so there's some areas of downtown Fort Worth that aren't the greatest. There's some areas of downtown Fort Worth where there is a large population of unhoused people.
Yeah.
And when I first started working there, I was 18 years old. I was a child.
A literal child.
A literal child. And the first time that I ever did this, because thinking about these stories now, I'm like, oh God, why did I do that? So one night I was driving home from work and I was like, oh man, I need to get gas. So I was like in between, I was like coming up on Ridgemar Mall, like that area. And I was like, I just need to stop at the first gas station that I see, like not thinking that it's 3 o'clock in the morning and where I'm at is not the greatest area.
Yeah.
So I like exit off the highway onto this like small little gas station that's just like off this access road. There's nobody there. I don't even think like the gas station itself was open. And it was one of the gas stations that had like bars on the window and there was like nobody in the parking lot. I stopped at that gas station to get gas.
You used your brain.
And I was like, now that I'm thinking about that, I was like, that was stupid. That was really dumb.
I would agree.
But then there was another time where there's a QT, because, you know, QTs are big. They're well lit. They're very nice. There's multiple employees there, not just one usually.
The one by your work was scary when I went.
It is always scary. Correct. It's always scary. So one night I needed to get gas and I was like, I'm not going to make it anywhere near Weatherford. QT is going to be my best bet and my safest bet.
Yeah.
There's usually always a cop there.
Tons of lights.
Or a ambulance. Like there's usually somebody staged there. So it feels safer.
Yeah.
Right? So I had done it a couple of times in the past, stopped there later, usually around like 7 p.m. Like I would go on my lunch break if I needed to get gas. So it wasn't like middle of the night. This night I forgot. I go to this QT. It's literally like 3 minutes from my work. And again, lots of unhoused people like to hang out there. And so I pull up to the pump and before I could even get out of my car, there's this man like walking up to my window. And I was like, here we go. And he's like tapping on my window and asking me if he can pump my gas. And I'm like, no, sir. And he's like, I'll pump your gas for you for like a couple dollars. And I'm like, I don't have any cash. Please go away. Like, so I can get out of my car and pump my gas and go home. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, no. Just like constantly saying no. Well, eventually, finally, he walks away. I was going to go in the gas station to get snacks. And I get out and I'm pumping my gas and I get back in my car while it's pumping because I'm not just going to stand out there. And I'm like looking at the entrance of the QT. It's like right in front of where I'm parked. And I'm like getting ready to get out of my car to unhook the gas thing, go in, get my snacks and come back. There was a man standing like near the entrance, kind of like around the corner from it, like in the dark where there's no light, standing up there wearing a black trench coat all the way down to the ground, hands in his pockets. And I'm just sitting there staring at him. And he's just standing there menacingly. And I was like, what the hell?
Do I just drive off with the pump in my car?
What is going on here? What is happening here? And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going into... There was no cop. There was nobody there. So I was like, this is just not a safe situation for me.
No.
I just won't be doing this. So now, if I have to get gas, I will push it to the limit to get to Weatherford.
Yeah, or at least like Willow Park or something.
Right, because in between Willow Park, Hudson Oaks, and Weatherford, there is many gas stations that are well lit, but there's always a cop at least one of them.
Yeah.
So if I pass one and there's no cop, I'll go to the next one. There will usually be a cop there. If there's a cop at the gas station, I'm stopping.
Yeah. No, I would not. I went to... So during COVID, my stepdad had a stroke. And my mom, I was like, you're not driving. I will drive you. Shae was working.
Oh, yeah.
And so I couldn't go in because it was during COVID. And so I just sat in my car.
Watching me go back and forth.
Yeah, I watched Shae. I would check in on her. I went and got you
burger.
Oh, yeah. I like got Burger King or McDonald's. I went and got us food. Brought her food back. And And I had to go to the QT because I needed I don't remember if I had to get gas or if I wanted like a Gatorade or snacks from the gas station. Because I just sat in the parking lot because I had driven my mom there. So I just sat there until my mom was ready to go home and take a shower and like come back. So I was up there all night just in my car. And so like I did go to the QT and there was, like you said, a lot of unhoused people, but they were all playing like instruments. Like they were playing like 5-gallon drums and stuff like that.
Yeah, for the most part, they're just hanging out.
Yeah, they were just chilling. And so I didn't feel nervous or anything, but I remember being like, oh, and you were like, yeah, it's kind of scary sometimes. Because I like was texting you and I told you where I was and you were like, you should have gone to like a different one.
Yeah, you should have gone to the other side.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't come this way. Like I don't come to Fort Worth. But yeah, I was a little, I wouldn't imagine wanting to do that at 3 a.m.
It's not fun.
I don't want to stop at any gas station at 3 a.m.
Yeah, I don't either, to be fair. I had to stop a couple of nights ago, probably a couple of months ago. I was like, I'm not going to make it anywhere. I made it here on E because I was late. I have to get gas. And so my work dad was there with me. His name is Brad. He's literally like my father. We leave at the same time. And I was like, hey, like I have to get gas, so I won't be following you home. And he was like, well, where are you getting gas? And I said, well, I have to go to QT. And he goes, well, you're not going by yourself. I will follow you there and wait for you to pump your gas. And then we will go home. And I was like, okay, thank you. So he literally just followed me to the gas station and hung out, parked next to me while I pumped my gas. And then we drove home.
So nice.
Mm-hmm.
What a man.
He's the best.
Brad makes her like chili and soups and stuff.
He cooks for me. Yeah.
I'm like, I work from home, but I need to work, Dad. I need to work
others
to cook for me.
He's the best. He's great.
But I think that's probably enough of the creepy stories, I would say, reading wise.
I would think so.
But stay vigilant, my guys.
Yeah.
Like,
pay attention to your surroundings, please.
Yes, really. That's one of the things I think our dad raised us very, very well on is like staying in tune with your surroundings, looking at people, exit routes, like all of the things. I remember when we had Landon, I think I've mentioned it before, I'd asked him, like, how would you get out of this place right now? He was like, the front door. And I was like, no, they're coming through the front door.
No, wrong.
And he was like, I don't know. And he just kind of like looked around and I was like.
And now you're dead.
Yeah. Like our dad would sit to where he could flip the table to where the table could protect us if like they came in firing gunshots and stuff like that.
Always on guard.
Yeah, I had an exit plan. He's still like that to this day. Like when we go to restaurants, I just step to the side, let my father pick his seat, and then I pick.
And then we
him.
sit. Yeah,
because I know he's going to pick like the spot that gives him the best like advantage. And if I'm in a restaurant and they start to try and put me and my husband in the middle of the restaurant, I'll be like, no, I need a booth, or can I sit over there? Like I'll ask them like, can I move? And they're normally like, oh yeah, because they try and seat you by section. But if there's an open table where I'm not in the middle of everything, I'm moving.
I just don't want to sit in the middle of everything anyways.
I don't like that. No, it's too chaotic.
Yeah.
And always like during tests in high school and like ACT, SAT, when they would put you by last name, my last name always had me like right in the middle of stuff. And I was like, no, I can't test like that. I would ask, I would get moved to a corner, or I would have to put something up around me because I can't focus like that. I do not like being in the middle of anything.
With people on all sides of you, no.
Yeah, I do not like it.
No.
I always found the corner. Or like, I want to say like ACTs or SATs, you could get there early and pick your seat. I want to say that. I don't know. But I did always get myself to a corner. You didn't have to take them to get to college?
No.
How did you get in college?
I went to community college.
So?
I took their entry exam.
Oh, just like at the college? I did that too. I did all of it.
Yeah, I don't think I took those.
I did the SAT. I did both in Mineral Wells. And I stayed the night at Prairie's house before one of them. And there was a thunderstorm. And her house was metal roof. I did not sleep the whole night because it was so loud. Ugh. And then I had to go in and take my test, but I did fine. But
maybe if I did take it, I don't remember. I remember doing the practice ones, but I don't remember ever like scheduling one and going to take it, like where you have to like show them your ID and all that stuff.
Yeah, I did in Mineral Wells. But I also did go up to the college and take their like, because I had to take their, I don't know why, because I took my ACT and SATs, but there was something I still had to take college algebra at the college. I had to take one of their like algebra entry exams or something to like for them to place me in which class I needed or something. And I was like,
what was the point?
Why I took those?
Yeah.
I don't know why I had to do that. But anyways, yeah, stay vigilant, man. There's just so many. I think it's just like a matter of being lonely. Like I feel like there's a lot of lonely people in the world and they just want a friend. Like really, I think some people just need a friend.
Well, there's a way to do that. Yeah. And following somebody in public is not that.
Not it. But the empathetic side of me is like, but they could make a friend.
Mm.
I am very, very bad about talking to anybody in the grocery store. Like, I will talk to anyone. If they approach me, I'm very nice back. It's a problem. It really is a problem because there's been a couple times where I was like, oh, that was uncomfortable. Because then they wouldn't stop talking.
Right.
Like, there was one girl, she found me on Facebook and everything afterwards. She was really nice.
Oh my God.
Yeah. She was really nice, had a whole sob story. And like, she would just was talking to me. I was looking at like stalkings or something. And then I started talking and.
You told her your name?
Yeah. My name was Landrey and she found me.
Well.
It's a pretty common, not common name.
Mm-mm.
But she found me, but she was really nice. But she had a whole sob story about like her husband passing away and her grandkids and her kids lived in Granbury and all of this. And I had mentioned like, because we were looking at stockings and she like complimented something. So then I was nice back and was like, okay, well, I've got to go get, because it was when I had Landon. I was like, I got to go get, and she's like, you don't look old enough to have a kid. And I was like, no, I'm a foster like parent. And she was like, oh, you're such a good person. And like her eyes started watering.
You're like, yeah, I gotta go, bye.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm late. I really got to go get him. Yeah.
Couldn't be me.
But I also live home alone.
You're like, I'm also
lonely. I am also lonely. I'm like, I live at home. We're not alone, you know, I'm married, but my husband's only home so often. And I work from home to where I'm like, hey, or I'm at like Taco Bell and I'm like, do you have a good day today? Like at the drive thru and they're like, can you get out of my line?
There's like 17 people behind you.
I'm like, I do it at Chick-fil-A too. Like the other day someone commented my nails or something and I was like, thanks, I got them done here, and here. She just kept talking to me too. And there is a whole line. You're at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're sweet though.
Yeah. She kept talking and I was like, I am holding up your line. I'm so sorry.
So sorry. Gotta go.
And she was like, no, you're good.
That's so sweet.
I just talk. I just be yapping.
I'm nice to people too, but that's not like I'm mean to people. I'm nice to people. I'll talk to them if they talk to me, but like, we're not going to be getting into it.
Oh no. One day when we were looking at Christmas lights at Walmart, there was an elderly man in there and he was like pushing his basket. And he asked me like and Aaron was right beside me. He had asked me like, what kind of lights should I do on my house or like wrap around my posts? And I was like, oh, if you're going to wrap around your posts, like do candy cane, and like had a whole conversation with him. Got stuck there probably for like 30 minutes in that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron was like, how do you do that? And I was like, he's lonely. He's lonely. He's here by himself and he wanted someone to talk to. So I talked to him. And Aaron was like, I love you for that, but I don't know how you do it. And I was like, he just needed somebody.
You just needed a little friend for a minute.
Yeah. And that's like, I just ended up talking to him about literally Christmas lights and just like what he was going to do to his house for Christmas and his decorations and stuff.
That's so sweet.
And Aaron was like, I don't know how you do that. I love you, but I don't know how you handle that. But
yeah. You just gotta be careful.
Yeah.
You never know who you're talking to.
I know. If Aaron wasn't there, I wouldn't have talked so long probably.
That's fair.
Because I would have probably gotten to a point where I was like,
this conversation's gone too long.
Okay. But I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people just need like a friend. So then I like talk to them and I'm like, they just needed that.
Yeah, they probably did. And you're probably right.
I'm like, they're home alone and they don't have anybody.
Yeah. It's probably true.
And they're going to take me home and I'm going to be their somebody.
And they're going to put me in the oven.
I am now their somebody. Yeah.
Forever and ever and ever.
Now I get the basement with the chair and the light. But I hope you enjoyed those stories. I thought it would be a little bit different, but fun.
Yeah,
An
I liked
interesting
it.
way to go over some scary things.
Mm-hmm.
People doing creepy shit.
People are creepy.
What's your serial killer?
Everybody's a serial killer until proven otherwise.
Yep. But if you liked it, make sure to leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Go follow us on all of our platforms. We've been getting a lot more traction. Like a lot more people are joining our Facebook and our Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
We just post things that go with the stories, or we share funny stories like on the actual stories of like Instagram, and they go over to our Facebook as well. We've had a lot of more people join our Discord, I feel like. So like we were talking a lot. I think both of us talked quite a bit in the Discord this weekend. It's completely free. It's just a fun little space for like community. You can tell your ghost stories in there if you want to. A lot of our people in our Discord are making friends with one another, which is super cool. So it's just, like I said, some sort of community, and it's a cool sense of like making friends. Like I said, everybody needs a friend.
Yeah.
So it's just a fun little place to be. So all of that. And then if you have a story or recommendation or anything you'd like to say, you can email it to us at sistersofthestrangepodcast@gmail.com. But we will see you on Friday.
Bye.
Bye.